Jaslyn is on, and we are live. Hello,
and
everybody.
we're off.
And we're gone.
And we're hot. How's
Good
it?
morning, VGM.
Sorry, we are a little late. We had a little bit of a scramble. But
Don't apologize to
oh
them.
yeah, maybe I should post the chat the puzzle
Post my internet speeds.
I copied
I
it.
got really high.
What is it, like 4 megabytes a second?
4 megabytes down and 0.01 up.
I
So
wish I could go back to those
So
days.
if you all are on the Discord, I'm posting a link on the podcast chat where we can do a collective puzzle. It is in hashtag podcast chat. Please don't
This
have
reminds me.
a horrible
we
name
can't go
on
there. Being
but
blocked.
You're being blocked?
On my internet Saturday. Don't tell anybody I'm on my work computer.
I won't. If you want.
Work does not want you doing puzzles? Is that right?
Nope. This slows productivity down.
No video games at work. No
That's a
fun
shame.
brain.
Not even Minesweeper. Doesn't that come with Windows?
I'll have to check. I don't know if it comes with Windows anymore. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
Just like you can't play pinball anymore.
No Space Cadet Pinball. No
Space
Minesweeper.
Cadet.
Doesn't even come with Solitaire anymore.
We used to be a real country.
I don't think it does.
Big as
It
we are
doesn't come with
now.
Solitaire.
I don't think so.
Remove everyone's name.
Feel free to quote me on that though.
Doing some live editing. But
Come with Uno. My ex
there we
box
go. That
came
looks
with
so
Uno.
much nicer. Alright. Perfect.
How the fuck am I supposed to talk on this podcast? while doing
Yeah,
this
hell no.
puzzle?
It'll way too
Literally,
distracting.
I'm gonna have to stop. Literally.
Well, the good
Yeah.
thing is like there are like 8 people on the puzzle right now. So I've taken breaks before.
Well, whoever's name is Jizz Demon, I think is the coolest person here.
And that is why I just cropped out all the names.
Probably for the best. Huh?
Yeah. But I guess we haven't really spoken about really any of the episodes this year haven't really been anything to do with
Anything.
new releases. So I gathered some, and I'm sure we'll be talking about more than what's on the slideshow there. But yeah, how has 2023 been for you all with new releases?
Oh,
A
kind
little
of
calm.
slow. Yeah.
I just haven't
loving-
opened like
loving it.
boxes. I have so many boxes in my house. Just I need to open.
Is it just
Nice tonight.
Does it just get to the point where it's just like I have too many? It's too much work to go through this whole ordeal.
You get so far behind that you just give up on the hobby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm about to put just all my empty
Great.
boxes, rip the labels off, put my empty boxes on fucking eBay mystery box.
Oh
Could
my
be
God.
CT. God, I hope I didn't just start a trend. Please delete the last 20 seconds of this.
VGM
Cut that
mystery
out.
boxes on
Grab bag
eBay.
sale. That'd be insane.
I think
Got a
that's
lot.
already
It's
been
about to
done.
make a lot of money.
I think that was already done. I got a grab bag, a Demon's Souls in a mystery sale. I think on eBay.
But for boots, though.
Oh yeah.
Time to start.
Would you?
Let me guess.
trust-
Did you also get a what's the other one that came with it? 3x3 eyes.
Yes.
We got
Is that how
those
you
two.
pronounce that?
I'm not sure how you say the name. It's not something I've ever talked about with anyone. It's like one of those things that's like never said out loud, so I never had to know how to
Reddit.
say it.
Is it 9
3
eyes?
cross 3 eyes. 3x 3 eyes.
Could just be
What is
9
it?
eyes.
Realize.
Yeah.
Any weeaboos in chat, let us know.
We got anyone who knows how to talk. Please feel
Like-
free to help us out.
Would you all really like if there was a boot mystery box, like had, I don't even know the price tag. Would you all go for it, or would you just be absolutely certain it would be just nothing
It
but
would
those,
absolutely
those old
depend on
Kirby
the price.
records?
It'd be crazy. It could be like Crash 3 or Castlevania 2 Bloodlines, or it could be Doom 2.
Zelda 2.
Yeah.
I don't
Donkey
think I
Kong.
would probably do that. No.
I love grab bags and blind buys. I'm always suckered in by that stuff. I love. I don't know. I'm not really into gambling, but I like that type of gambling.
Are you?
Low
Depending on the
stakes
label, I think
gambling.
it'd be fun.
I don't know. I don't know about vinyl. I do know I absolutely hate like the toy blind boxes. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's just a cardboard, package that might have one of like 12 figures in it. I can't stand that.
That's why
stuff.
you only do the ones where you have a good probability of what you want.
My brother's been buying those Mario Lego ones.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think I saw the list of minifigs on those, and it didn't seem like any of them were all that bad. So that seems like a kind of you win either way.
Yeah, unless you get.
Yeah,
Lego.
whoever's just working on the right side, hell yeah.
Shouts out to the puzzlers.
Unless
We
you
were
get what?
fucking trucking out there.
There might even be a special discount code to a certain store if you guys finish this puzzle before we're done. But I'm not going to
That's
say
right.
what store I'm talking about.
Could be any store.
Could be.
Is it Amazon.com?
Yes.
Can't say.
I would absolutely
Could
love.
be anywhere.
Okay, so I guess my one concession to the blind box is if it was Mario minifigs and they were all the Koopa Kids. Like, that was the only selection in there, because I think any one of those would be amazing.
I think if you have a bunch of friends who are all collecting the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you all buy blind boxes, it could be a fun event
Okay,
to
yeah,
open them all up together.
And the
Yeah.
trading.
a little bit
Yeah,
like a
well,
white
that's
elephant
blind
like
bag.
that.
The last one I knew what I was getting just because what other people had told me was coming, so there wasn't much excitement in it. But I did get records I wanted for cheap, so that was good and fine.
Nice.
So
But yeah.
what's new? What's
Yeah,
come out? I don't know.
It's been a little slow. Or at least, or maybe I slowed down. I have no idea.
We're all getting old.
Because I was
So-
looking at these releases, and it's like I listened to a little bit of Banana Jams. I listened to like Alien, but I didn't actually get the record. And looking at the Bloop liquid filled, of course that's a highly limited item, but
What do you think of Banana Jams 2 versus Banana Jams 1?
I didn't bother with Banana Jams 2 at all.
did you listen to it at least, or like stream
No.
it? No.
I just don't care. I listened to Banana Jams 1. I was like, okay. And from there, I just did not care.
I'm on the same page. I listened to the first one. Well, I own the first one, and I'm not too
Right.
big on it, but I haven't actually checked the second one out too much yet. I think I maybe listened to one track. But I'm genuinely wondering, like, is it better? Like, that's actually... I assume it's just more of the same, but...
I think it's
Right.
hard to tell if it's a little improved on, or that I just like the DKC2 soundtrack better.
Is that what it is? It's DKC 2 and Banana Jams 1 was the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not touched those. I have listened to so few like quote unquote official like remix arrangement albums like that. Typically
Boot
not.
only household.
I wouldn't call them official. I would just call them
quote
Promise.
unquote.
properly licensed.
Yeah. There you go. That's more fair.
It is a cover.
I will say I do actually like the like revised artwork more.
Yeah,
Like that sort of 3D
It's all-
rendered look. Because I really don't like the artwork on the original Banana Gems, but
No.
I do like the revised one.
with the weird looking ape. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think Donkey Kong looked all that good on the original art.
Donkey Kong, are you okay?
He did not look okay.
You need
No,
help?
he looks very upset. And I don't know if that's Donkey Kong either. I mean, we can
It's-
assume it is, I guess.
Legally distinct angry ape. But yeah, the I don't know. I enjoyed it a little bit. Obviously, it's
I'll check
not
it
a,
out then.
not a replacement for the original, and also it's not.
It can't be bad. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
you know.
it's. I didn't hate streaming it, but I may not have liked it enough to purchase it.
How dare you?
But does anyone
You
in
have
chat,
to like everything.
if anyone
Yeah.
in chat wants to come into the waiting room to defend or praise Banana Jams, by all means.
We also had our second Sonic showed up,
Yeah.
right?
No thanks.
Similar.
2 Sonic 2.
Sonic
Which
2.
Sonic 2 do you like more?
I aesthetically,
Chemical.
yeah, aesthetically, I think the labels on the Model 1 Sonic 2 are more enjoyable. But I can't really,
They
couldn't
all have
really
different-
tell audio wise.
Every variant has the different labels, right?
Yeah,
For each.
I guess mine was I was the biggest fan of the bonus stage labels. Just made,
Okay, that's the one I have.
made the most sense for a spinning disc.
I like Casino Night Zone a lot,
Mhm.
so I like that jacket. But I think I liked the the Model 1 version variant a little bit better. Yellow disc.
And the Model 1 comes with the poker chips, and
Yeah,
the
that was
Model
cute.
2. Model 2 comes with I believe, an insert.
Yeah, just a one.
I think, as far as extras are concerned, that would be the two differences, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm very happy with how both of them sounded, and it's incredibly satisfying to like see the staggering drop in like searching for the old SSR Sonic 2s.
Yeah, and that just shouldn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting close to becoming completely unvital.
Mm-hmm.
One day
I'm
we'll all be
of-
free.
I'm of the opinion that owning that is probably worse than not owning it,
Uh-huh.
because listening to it at all is just a complete waste of time. I mean, you can literally just boot up YouTube and it will sound 1,000 times better. So there's no point. Just pretend it's on your turntable at
Yeah.
that point.
Just a little rough. Just make it spin and turn that on.
Play it through your Bluetooth receiver while the turntable spins.
That being said, I will never sell mine. So that's a
I
charity
actually
item.
like the jacket on that one, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it uses like the beta title screen, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool.
But yeah, the sequencing was kind of the same on either one. of the Sonics.
They're-
exact
They're
tracklist.
exactly the
Oh.
same. Like,
Yes.
yeah. Actually, I'm curious. Is there, like, the very slightest bit of difference anywhere?
I don't believe so. Like even the jingles are in the same spot that like aren't on the track list.
But like, if you were to overlay the audio like on top of each other, would it sync 100% perfectly?
It does not.
Okay.
It's I don't know what the difference is, but it is almost the same, but not 100%.
Could it
Like
be
I-
98%.
yeah,
I know-
okay.
I know
At
they were
least from what I have.
handled by different people, like, so I figured they couldn't be exactly the same.
Right. Almost.
I guess really the only downside, and I understand why they probably didn't do this, but the only downside is not having that Sega jingle in the beginning.
Sega.
And I assume it's, because it's kind of risky to put that there.
Well, okay. You mentioned that you just posted this right before we started the stream, and I'm sure not a lot of people have it, but I don't know. I guess since you posted it, Frank, we're clear to talk about it. You think, right?
The Resident Evil album?
Yeah.
Well, I assume plenty of, if they don't have it now, I assume plenty of people will have it soon.
And does that
Follows
have
up the theme of duplicate releases or similar releases you're getting.
now that
it
that
has been a trend.
Yeah. But that has
there's
the PlayStation boot up sound on it, right?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just listened to it, but yeah, I'm almost positive it does.
The laced versions have started landing for some people, right? I think I thought
Yeah.
Duck
yeah.
Bits have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess people in Europe are getting them now.
It's outlaced.
Friends of the show.
Yeah. Sponsored.
I don't know if we could get in trouble for saying we're sponsored by Lace.
This is a joke bit. We're just lying about being sponsored by Laced Records.
Just a joke.
I know we can lie about Arby's all we want, because
Laced can
This
take us to
show
court.
is sponsored by Arby's.
Imagine if Laced did take us to court and took all our Chrono Trigger destruction money. That'd be sad.
Very embarrassing.
I will represent myself and see laced in court.
Once you get enough money, what if you can't find the Chrono Trigger to buy?
That'll be really sad.
yeah. It's gonna take quite some time to get that kind of money too, so by the time we get it, like, price will have increased like 5-fold.
Yeah.
Just pushing the boulder up the hill, Sisyphus style, trying to raise enough money to buy Chrono Trigger to destroy.
But yeah, the Resident Evil releases, they are the same game, but they are very distinctly different. But it's also this type of thing where it's like, unless you're a hardcore fan of the series like I am, you probably don't want both of them. But I don't know. I'm very biased. Like I need both of them, so I can't really speak for the average consumer.
Yeah. And it's like, there are a lot of hardcore Resident Evil fans. I mean, it's probably the most prominent officially pressed series in the
Which is kind
community.
of it's kind of funny because it's not necessarily a series that's too well known for its music.
No, yeah.
Not like Silent Hill or something, as far as like horror goes.
Yeah, as far as horror, Silent Hill is definitely talked about much more, for good reason.
Mhm.
Not saying that Resident Evil music is bad at all, but it's just not as distinct or memorable, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're a huge fan of the games, I mean, you can, uh, you'll have a much more enjoyable time listening to it. But I think on its own, without context, it does not work as well as like something like Silent Hill would,
Mhm.
where Silent Hill is kind of just a those albums are just like good horror ambient albums, like even out of context.
Yeah.
I love how no one has any clue with how this picture goes.
Oh, there's an image, or there.
That's
if you
cheating,
pick-
okay? That is
Okay.
cheating. Anybody who's using the image, you're a fucking cheater.
I'm firmly in that camp as well.
But even if you do have both versions, or both releases, like the latest release and this new release, you're actually getting 3 different versions of the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Right,
because
because
the
the list
latest.
is 2, right?
Yeah, because the latest one, like the first LP is just like straight up the soundtrack,
Mhm.
and then the second 2 LPs are based on the Biohazard Remix album, which was a CD release that from around the time the game came out, which sort of remixes the tracks. They sound a little bit different than the game versions, and it also adds like sound effects and voices and stuff like that.
And that is
And
kind
then
of what the new one, or the other one you have is, right? It's kind of.
it's kind of what it is, but not quite, because like it's still pretty different. I mean, it's the same sort of concept, but the new one that I just posted has like literally around 20 minutes of dialogue. So I would say a good, I mean, that's a good chunk of it. Whereas the Biohazard Remix only has, you know, if you add up all the dialogue, it only adds up to like a couple of minutes.
Mhm.
So it's definitely more story driven, dialogue heavy, the newer one.
And is it like music or dialogue with music in the background, or is like because I can't remember how
A lot of the times it has music in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's and then the dialogue will end and it'll just play through the rest of the music track. Sometimes it's just the music on its own. Sometimes it's the music with the environmental sounds sort of there, like crickets or
Okay.
you know, things like that.
Okay, because I was thinking about like the dialogue scene between like was it Chris and Rebecca when she comes to play the piano, and like it's like that room's pretty quiet, and then she plays the piano, and like do they just let the dialogue sit in silence or something like that,
Someone has the whole puzzle selected, you bastard.
or maybe that's not even in the soundtrack.
That's actually so the one that
Yes.
the one that's called Soundtrack and Drama, it's actually just the Jill campaign. It
Oh.
has nothing from the Chris campaign in it.
Crit.
Do you like that?
It's interesting because I was thinking to myself, like, how would I have gone about this if I were to tackle something like this? And it's tough because in order to make it, I assume like whoever mixed this wanted it to flow like a story, you know,
Yeah.
a, and if you start mixing the 2 campaigns together,
Then the story
would-
diverges. They are very divergent story. Like for Christ's sake, like in either story, the other protagonist ends up in imprisoned. You know, so you can't.
exactly, yeah. So it wouldn't really make much sense. And I doubt they wanted to make it 4 LPs. So
Yeah, right.
I guess it made the most sense to just focus on one.
Uh-huh. I think it's a pretty I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a consensus that the Jill campaign on the PS1 is better, and like the Chris campaign on PS2, or not PS2, GameCube was the more enjoyable
big
one.
one?
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never even thought about it or heard about that before.
Huh.
I know the Jill is definitely easier.
Yeah.
So it's usually the first one people play.
Yeah.
I mean, you get more inventory space and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I know it was definitely the first campaign I played when I first played the game.
Yeah. I guess the reason I was thinking that maybe people liked the Chris campaign on the GameCube better is because you had that quick turnaround that you didn't have on PS1. And like when you start off with just a knife, that is a bit of a blessing to have.
Quick turnaround felt
Yeah.
good.
Mhm. But yeah, I'm excited to give that one a listen for sure.
Yeah, and it's just a fun listen. Like if you just because you'll start thinking about all the different scenes in the game. Like if you had played it before, and
Mhm.
yeah,
I'd love to hear someone's opinion. Maybe it's too early to ask this, but if someone did not play the campaign and like listens to that, I'd love to hear what they actually think of the
I guess, like,
experience.
that sort of goes back to what I was saying before, where it's like if you're not a hardcore fan of it, I don't know how enjoyable it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe I can listen to one of these and see and give you that
Okay.
perspective.
Fresh baby ears.
Maybe going from horror to horror. Has anyone listened to the Alien PS1 soundtrack?
Yeah.
Did you get that, Aramis?
That is one I did not end up getting, no.
Wow.
The
It's-
variant looked good on it, though. I'll give it that.
Yeah, everything looked great on it, and like, I think the music sounds really nice, but I just did not really know too much about the game itself, and I think it was a money tight sort of situation. That
The game itself is really good as far as first-person shooters from that era are concerned, and as far as licensed games are concerned, and it's a very competent one.
it's good.
I do have like one criticism about that release.
What's that?
Get him.
And so it advertised itself as the Sega Saturn and PlayStation version of the soundtrack. It came out on both.
Mm-hmm.
The game came out on both, but the Sega Saturn version has I believe 3 or 4 exclusive music tracks that aren't on the PlayStation version,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not included on the vinyl. And you would think like, okay, maybe they couldn't fit them, but like you could easily fit them.
No.
That because that soundtrack is pretty short, so there is actually a ton of room to put those on. And I don't know why they're not on there. So that's the one small criticism I have about it. Otherwise, I think it's good.
So does it say that on the spine or on the back or something?
No, I don't think so.
At the very least, there's that. I mean, for future buyers of that soundtrack, they
Plausible
won't get
deniability.
I'm not saying it was like falsely advertised or anything because it's still true. I mean, it's
yeah.
the music on it is on both the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have those exclusive Saturn tracks.
I see. I understand now. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring in Cody and see what he's been listening to recently. Mr. Good Sense.
Yo.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. We just had Mr. Good Sense this weekend.
You what?
We just had Mr. Good Sense this weekend, actually.
What is?
Wait, Sorry, is my microphone really bad?
No, it sounds fine to me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Mr. Good Sense is actually.
They're like a Kentucky, I guess, based sub shop or something. I remember growing up, we had one by like the hardware store, and they went out of business within 3 months because the owner was embezzling. And I remembered thinking like, I can't remember if this place was good or not. And they opened, or they've had a place open, I guess, like really outside of the city where I live. So we had it, and I thought it was good. I don't know. It's good enough. They won me back after the embezzling.
Hey, that's all you can do sometimes.
That's very true.
So, new stuff for 2023. Have you been enjoying anything?
I was just listening. Oh my god. I did not do any prep. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I've got some things I can rattle off. We got
Yeah, go ahead.
Crash 3. We got the new Ninja Warriors. We got the Rusty, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Alien, Kirby Cafe,
Yes.
Banana Jams,
A lot of good stuff. I don't know,
Star
I don't know what you're
Fox.
saying, but
It's a loaded 2023. I still have a few things from 2022 I haven't listened to, which is frustrating also. I am trying to think of the list you said. Kirby Cafe I just recently spun. I finally I pushed that ahead because that was excited to listen to that. That was when I'd only heard a couple tracks from the tracks. Like I'd heard only a couple songs from the cafe before, and I was like, oh, that's really cool to get like it fits the vinyl platform. You know, it fits the physical media's format of it, I guess. I don't know. It's like, oh, the puzzle's done. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
I'm trying to do it on my phone, but someone's moving.
That's me.
Put it in my hole. Oh,
I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Kurt. I mean,
there are
I never want to
there
compliment.
definitely.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no worries.
I was
I
gonna
was
say.
gonna say there's definitely like releases that just sound like they belong on vinyl. So I know what you mean when it's
Mhm.
like that one just kind of fits that bill.
Yeah, it plays to the pros of the genre. I don't know. I'm so bad at talking sometimes.
Okay, I'm gonna get a new
like Cuphead.
new puzzle going. Oh, did you mention Cuphead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
I
that's
guess-
a new release.
yeah, that's one I really wanted, but I just couldn't pick it up right now.
the DLC.
Yeah.
That's another like that Cuphead. When you listen to that on vinyl, it sounds like it's supposed to be.
Oh,
on
right.
vinyl,
Yeah,
right?
it totally fits the medium. It's like, yeah, this is like
And
a
the-
no-brainer.
And there's very few video game soundtracks you can really say that for, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
really.
an interesting question. I wonder if like there'd be any way to like organize like the records that work the most, like are the most like applicable and not just like novelty, or I guess the most novel record, right? I think that would be.
Mhm.
On the note of doubles, was Star Fox get mentioned yet?
Not
I think
yet.
we
Not
talked-
yet.
We didn't talk about that, and that's another duplicate that has come out in the last month or so. Used to be the theme of 2023 so far as a most recent pressing of Star Fox, except it was the arrangement CD, so it has a few extra tracks, but same SNES soundtrack, but CD sourced instead of hardware sourced, correct?
Yes.
Which
I'm
I
actually,
have
I haven't put it on my system yet, but I'm not sure if it came direct from the CD or it came from rips of the CD that were floating around online.
That I don't know either, which is kind of interesting to
CD's
that you
expensive,
mentioned.
right?
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I believe the only, and I could be wrong, but I believe the only
Okay.
rip online was the one I uploaded. But so I don't know.
Got a new puzzle online if you check the podcast chat room.
Yeah, and that's nice.
All
for
right, I'll
people
be
to
gone
get
again.
It's
Puzzle.
cheaper, cheaper, more accessible for people. I guess that's nice.
Yeah.
It honestly was a good replacement. It had its issues, but I think like overall, it filled like a need where it went to majority new people who wanted it, instead of like doubling up on people's shows.
I
I
guess.
mean, what's the biggest issue in the scene is pretty much accessibility, right? Especially of older
Yeah.
businesses. So it does a job at filling that hole, and maybe even a good job. I haven't listened to the vinyl itself yet, but the CD is a fun listen. Well, particularly the arranged tracks are a fun listen.
The
know.
arranged tracks are very good. The Super Nintendo tracks do have some like quote unquote enhanced sound to them, which is kind of a common theme with CD soundtracks that came out in the 90s, especially in Japan, where they sort of add some reverb and different sort of mixing, like stereo sound mixing to make it sound more like a studio mix, I guess. So you are getting that. So like the Tota Karibo version is much more faithful to the actual hardware, since it was sourced from the actual hardware.
Mhm.
So you are getting two slightly different mixes and sounds there. I guess a lot of people probably aren't going to be picky when it comes to that sort of thing, so it probably won't matter to a lot of people, but it is just something to note, I guess.
If it saves you $500, I'm sure it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, and I'm not even necessarily saying that's a negative. It's just a
Right? Yeah.
It's
Difference.
just a difference. Yeah. Sometimes they go way too ridiculous with that sort of thing. Like, if you recall, like the Castlevania soundtracks put out by Mondo,
Mhm.
those were all sourced from Konami's original CD mixes, which have an insane amount of reverb.
Oh, they do. It's
and
been
just-
forever since I listened to them.
to the point where they just sound weird and unnatural.
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes it's just too much. And I remember Ship to Shore saying one time in Discord actually that when they were putting out the Kid Dracula release, Konami had provided them with the audio for it, and it had that same sort of deal as the Castlevania audio, where it was just crazy amount of reverb and just weird sounding. So I believe they were actually allowed to source it themselves from the hardware. So that one, I guess you were saved from it for that one. It just sounds normal.
Yeah, and I know that one of the more prominent complaints about the Pokemon Moonshake was that it was CD sourced, and that also has the heavy reverb like the new Star Fox has.
I'm not a fan on the reverb on the Pokemon soundtracks.
But is it?
Yeah, it's way too much. Because they wanted to go for like the stereo mixing,
Mhm.
so they went too nuts with it, I think, and it just doesn't sound like the hardware at all.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I'd listen to that if there was an audio recording made online out, just to see how different, if there is any differences from your CD upload, Frank.
Oh, for Star Fox?
Yeah.
There's no notable differences. I mean,
Okay.
I've listened to both of them. I mean, it's sourced. It's definitely sourced from the CD. I think what Pico was saying was just like, was it directly sourced from the CD or was it sourced from an upload online?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
that I don't know. I don't think there's any way to really tell. But
No. Yeah, because downloading it from YouTube or from KH Insider or wherever, like,
Crunchy or more?
you might not be able to get the highest quality rip, but to some ears, it's still indiscernible.
yeah, especially if it has competent mastering, and then it becomes even harder to tell.
But yeah, I'm always reticent to praise Kirby Cafe too loudly because I know it's a very limited release. But one thing, like, I really like about like how much exposure it's gotten is like it's actually gotten people to like import the Kirby Cafe CDs, which are far more comprehensive than a 2LP will
Oh,
allow.
totally. Yeah.
I don't know if I would say far more comprehensive. The vinyl covers almost all of them. There's a few, I think there's a few tracks on each that had to be cut.
Really? Okay.
But
I guess I'd always assumed it was like extensive too, but I don't know.
and I imagine it was hard to cut the tracks on
Mhm.
that sort of thing because all of them are good. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like, which one do I even get rid of here?
Yeah. I could.
But yeah, it does make me happy to see that sort of thing where it's like this music has existed for years, but it's not on vinyl, so a lot of people haven't heard it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I always love when something like that does come out and people get to hear these sort of albums now.
Yeah, it's
Comments on the YouTube rip. Someone was saying like a lot of the YouTube videos for it too were being taken down, so they were happy a rip was up.
oh really?
I don't know how much that's happening, but like if people can continue to find this little soundtrack, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely worth listening to and finding.
The team's winning if that happens.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, because I think as far as this year goes, that is definitely one of my favorites for this year already. And that and like, I know we had Scott on last time, but like, I hadn't listened to the Rusty soundtrack on vinyl when we had him on, and like it came last week, and it just sounds so amazing. I think I think they
listened to that a
really
couple days ago.
did a great job with the pressing of Rusty.
It definitely sounds good. And I had mentioned this when I wrote about it, but the drum samples on that soundtrack are pretty crazy for PC-98.
I know.
I feel like just the drums in particular sound very good on that.
Yeah, Cody, you're a bit of a Crash Bandicoot fan, right?
Yeah.
Do you like the Crash 3? Because that's still pretty new.
You know, I think it's fine enough. I think I don't know.
Don't.
There.
Sorry, I'm trying to connect this thing and then someone keeps moving it.
There's like a selected piece like right there. Someone selected it right on top of it, and they won't unselect it. Yeah.
Damn you!
Someone clicked the browser off, and that's just stuck in limbo. No, I have my. It's a bummer, but not like. I don't know. It could have been worse, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Or
but
better.
it's But yeah, I think generally it sounds pretty decent. So.
I think Crash 3 sort of runs into the same issues that the Donkey Kong Country bootleg soundtracks run into, where it's just too much crammed onto one LP. It's like a lot of the songs start to fade out before you even. I don't know. They just,
grooving now.
yeah, exactly. It's just because it's just so many tracks crammed onto a single album. Like
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of, not a lot, but a few of the tracks on Crash Bandicoot 3 seem to fade out too early. So you're not even really getting the full song. I know the underwater stage definitely does that.
Super
And-
weird.
I think a few others do as well, and I know it's just because it's trying to fit so much on one.
I gotta ask someone who maybe is more familiar with the Crash series than me. What do you think about like the? Is it odd to you that like canonically it went Crash 1 in 2022 to Crash 3 at the beginning of this year?
Considering Crash 2 is the fan favorite game, yes, it is kind of strange.
It's very bizarre. I know they just did that in the games. They gave it the fourth one or whatever, but I think that's a stretch. Let me just say. No, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it seems like it was just kind of a decision rather than like a.
I think someone looked at YouTube videos and saw that Crash 3 was under 40 minutes and Crash 2 probably wasn't.
Like a pretty fair assessment.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
I would stand behind that guess.
But yeah, I personally think Crash 2. I like all three soundtracks, but Crash 2 I think does have the strongest of the soundtracks. Similarly, again to Donkey Kong Country, there's a lot of parallels between the two series. I think.
You got to look at your animal mascots and ask what are the similarities here.
Yeah, like Donkey Kong Country 3 has a lot of sort of more gimmicky stages, and so does Crash Bandicoot 3.
Totally, it's totally that. I think I'm not as familiar with the third Donkey Kong, but I do think that Crash 3 has the best boss music for compared to the other two. But I do agree that I think Crash 2's soundtrack is definitely the standout of the three.
And was the Crash boss music in Crash 3 was that on the LP properly? Like there was something that wasn't on there.
It's such a
properly.
weird thing. Apparently when playing the final boss theme for the music or in game, if like a certain setting is like set past like or certain volume setting set past like 80% or something, apparently like the guitar track might just not play.
Oh no.
Or will not play rather. And then it just results in a totally different song. And has to be there. There's a guitar riff in this or the track, but then I looked on YouTube and in the comments people were like, "What the hell is this guitar track? I've never heard this." Like
It's so wild.
people have had completely different memories. From
So I was doing a deep dive
Mandela
into
effect.
that
yeah.
as well because you brought it to my attention, so I started like deep diving it as well, and I found out that in mono, if you set in the settings, if you set it to mono, it'll always have that guitar section. So I think the only YouTube uploads that have it there are actually in mono. And I don't know if there's a proper stereo version of it other than people who have gone and recreated the soundtrack through the use of MIDI and sound fonts and sort of like doing that whole reconstruction sort of thing. I don't know if there's any direct hardware rips of that Cortex music that in stereo that sounds proper.
It's strange.
I
It's
know.
very odd. I wonder if you could like modify the source code of the game with emulating it to like not have that issue with the playback.
Yeah,
Like-
the more YouTube comments I was reading, the more people are sort of describing how, like, what a pain in the ass that one particular track is to source. So I think after reading all of that stuff, I can sort of cut the vinyl a little more slack. Like,
Totally.
It's also like if you can't do it right, you like maybe shouldn't do it, you know?
I don't think they even noticed.
Oh yeah, that's the other
they,
thing.
they definitely do not. They
Probably
definitely
giving way too much credit here.
This is something that happens. It's really common in hardware sources where one track will not, like one instrument will not come through, or like one string of notes. And like if you don't know the soundtrack like super intimately, it's like you'll never notice a little thing off like that.
I think another big example of that happening with vinyl records in particular is on IM8-Bit's Battletoads release, where if you play the game through emulation, you won't get that certain drum track in the title theme. You'll only hear that through the hardware, but there's no way to source that from the hardware without hearing the sound effects on top of it, because I think the game goes into like a demo mode where it starts showing the storyline and there's some sound effects there. So they ended up just using the emulated version, which doesn't have those big like heavy drums, and it results in the song sounding a lot different. So that I don't know. I don't even know like how they could have gotten around that or not. But it's just another example of like it sounds wrong on vinyl, I guess. And that one's an official release too. So.
Oh my god, that one person with the one bottom piece highlighted.
You can double click someone else's piece and it'll give you control over their piece if they're just like idling with it. But yeah, I would imagine like ROM hacking community would come in like very handy for hardware like music issues like that.
Yeah, so I think since the IM8-Bit vinyl came out, someone did figure out a way to rip that track and have the proper drums through the whole thing.
Oh, that's great. Maybe.
But when IM8-Bit actually re-released it when they came out with that
double
2 LP.
Yeah.
That like the second LP had the new Battletoads soundtrack, and the first one was just a re-release. The first disc still has that same sort of quote-unquote mistake, so they didn't really go about it. They probably just used the same stamper, I guess.
Yeah, the same master as the old one. But I'm gonna bring Joey in for our last little bit here. Hello.
Elusive.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi, Joe.
There we go. Okay, yeah, I did the right thing. I had 2 puzzles up. I had 2 streams up. I have Discord up.
You're addicted to the internet.
Gaming.
The whole fucking board over and
Oh
over.
my god, who's moving the board?
Certified gamer.
I'm gonna. Oh my god, I'm gonna start screaming. I'm gonna start screaming on that ass.
What are some new releases you've been liking?
I got my copy of What's that? The Weezer Animal Crossing.
Oh
Fighter,
yeah.
and it finally came.
Yep. Yeah, mine
yeah.
mine finally showed up, so that counts as a this year release, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
if
Wait,
it's
was that
still,
2021 that went on sale?
It went on sale, yeah.
I believe so.
But
Oh,
if-
yeah.
God.
But if it's still
Were you a
shipping,
leftover or from then?
I was a in-hand sale
Holy shit.
from August.
I think some people have actually had it since 2021
wow.
because I'm sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you
some
talking about
of
Animal
your-
Crossing?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
because I
Weezer
think
one.
some people in Europe had it since like December 2021.
I
could
got
be
mine
wrong.
really early. Okay, so like I get all my packages to my mom's, and I've seen her so many times, and she hasn't told me it came in, and like I was like getting pissed. So like I talked to someone who like was close to them, and I was like, "What's the deal?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna look at my own tracking," and I realized I got it January 14th.
Wow.
I called up my mom. I'm like, "Have you had a package since like a whole month?" She's like, "Oh yeah, there is a package." I was like, "I just saw you yesterday."
Now, I have a question.
No,
Did you
who took my
pay-
piece?
That
Did you
Weezer
pay
one
for
was
the
crazy.
insured shipping or whatever, the extra money for the shipping or tracking?
Absolutely not. I would never pay for that stuff.
And you got it that early?
I paid
Yeah.
for it and I got it. Yeah, like middle of
And
last year.
Mouse got his the same. Me and Mouse's both shipped the same day, and apparently we got ours both January 14th. Like way ahead of like a lot of people
Of this year or last year?
of this year. But it
Oh, okay.
shipped in December. We
Okay.
got the notification in December.
Oh, I thought you were saying
That-
of last year. I was like, that's
yeah,
great.
that makes more sense because some people have actually had it since January of last year.
I've had mine since I think March of last year, maybe. No, May, I think.
Same here. I think I got it around the same time as you.
I like that
Yeah.
someone's
But-
doing the more
You had it
market
May of last year.
as a
Yeah,
screensaver.
I was one of the first people in the US to have it.
Well, the thing is, I saw you got it, and I was like, okay, I need this stupid thing now. So I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, can I just pay the extra shipping, whatever it is, and then just send it to me, please? And he said, okay. So that's what it took, an extra $20 to get it back then.
You all.
And you gotta do what you gotta do. He only charged me an extra and they only charged me an extra couple bucks for the expedited shipping, and I had 2 copies, so I don't know how any of that worked. But I'm glad
Well,
that's behind us.
I guess if you asked him 1 week later, it went up to $20.
Hey, yesterday's price isn't today's price. That's what they say.
I mean, there's some people still really upset out there about it.
It's pretty annoying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I was annoyed. I had to wait another like 5 months to get it after I waited till it was in hand because I was like, yeah, this is I was like serial guy, like this will never be real. And then
Yeah,
like, I love serial guys.
Guys, meme of the year.
So I keep seeing the blue liquid filled, and I noticed that I think Anthony
That looked awesome.
TRP uploaded one. I haven't listened to that. I listened to it a little bit actually, and like I'm always reticent to even like when given the opportunity buy a liquid filled, just because it's so expensive and I don't know. I can't imagine they sound as good, but
well, they're pretty much guaranteed not to sound as good.
Yeah.
It's definitely the gimmick that you're buying it for.
I've become very enchanted with, or disenchanted with liquid filled stuff.
Yeah, I've become Ella enchanted with them.
I really love.
Joey, I'm sorry.
I don't find them like very meaningful or I don't know anything at this point. But the blue one was good.
I really am
It's good to have
charmed
little
by
guys
it.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, the blue.
little-
It should only they should only do liquid fields on releases that are related to liquid.
And have little guys in them.
Yeah, that was the
Otherwise,
coolest
what's
part.
the point?
Did World of Goo have a liquid filled? I know
They would
he
need
does
little guys.
liquid filled sometimes.
That was
True, Phil. Even.
So like, what other?
Wait, did you say you were liquid filled?
Well,
We're all liquid-filled variants in this house.
Would what
Based
else
on
would be
liquid
good to have a liquid filled variant of? Like something that is put with care, like the little bloopers in there. Like what would be a release that would also have like that would also look nice with those little like extras or something swimming in them.
TMNT did it with little turtles, right?
yeah.
There's a TMNT one.
I think
Yeah.
a little Katamari with a ball on the
Mhm.
inside would be fun. Like not like an actual ball, but like a 2D ball.
Yeah.
We all know you want Zelda with Triforces in it.
Oh my god.
Glitter
Why are you
Triforce.
saying out loud?
That would
How
be
can there be
I
easy
want
marketing?
Zelda with cubes in it. No,
Katamari-
give me Zelda.
Katamari would be really amazing, especially if you just had one King of all Cosmos and one ball. Like he's holding a ball, and then there's just like
Be
random
filled with
objects that he rolls
Yeah,
up.
just
Yeah.
garbage.
Okay, now that We Love Katamari is getting re-released, can we please get We Love Katamari on vinyl?
I would love it.
Liquid-filled with shit.
Let me call Mondo right now.
Message to all the
Don't
booters
go
out
into
there:
that.
don't redo stuff. Do something new for us, please.
Mhm.
Say
Sorry,
Mon-
the entitled members of this community demand that the booters do new stuff.
Yeah, do Zelda 1. No one's done Zelda 1 yet.
Well, take Hogwarts down. Put We Love Katamari up in its place. And
yeah.
That's a
No one can get
that's
mad.
a topic right there.
I didn't want to go into it, but
Is it possible for Katamari to be canceled?
no, never.
No.
Imagine like a Wii Sports Resort, liquid filled with like a sword, frisbee, golf club,
Ooh.
basketball.
Pikachu noticed the weed filled.
Oh my god, I am fucking in.
Yeah. weed filled record.
I'd be breaking that shit open. I'd be like, fuck, I got high off the Pokemon weed record, and now I'm
My
If you're gonna-
yeah.
If you're gonna do a weed-filled record, you could pick a better one than that. I mean, come on.
Alright,
It needs to be the worst one possible.
What is considered like the most
I'll
weed-friendly
make
video
my
game?
own.
Oh.
I'll have a Wii. I'll have a Snoop Dogg like parody cover of Sounds of Wii, and I'll make it Sounds of Weed.
There we go.
Dope Smoker by Sleep was just they had a weed press record, but it wasn't a weed like liquid filled type thing. It was like actually pressed into it.
There's some kind of weed video game, isn't there? Like,
I know, why is it so hard to think of one?
Oh,
It was like
No,
a dealer game, right?
yeah, it was
Like
like a weed
Tycoon or
simulator,
something.
dealer
There
simulator.
should be an easier to think about weed related.
GTA Chinatown Wars on the DS
Yeah.
had a drug dealing mechanic.
Oh, it's such a good drug dealing.
Clerks, the
mechanic,
video game, just for Joey.
Yay! You know what the one's for me? I want the soundtrack to Meat and Fuck on a cum field.
too.
Whoa, it got spicy in here. Would your record start to smell?
I hope so.
The number one video game final
Imagine if it
podcast.
leaked though. You
The
don't
number
want that to
one
leak.
cum podcast.
I want that too,
Would
but
be,
I'd
like, if
Comcast?
Nickelodeon. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'd want the same thing, but I'd rather it be Kramer's Hentai Adventure.
I Kramered into my
Time
friend's
to go
apartment the
find
other
some
day.
hentai. Whatever the.
There's only
don't,
one person I know that can break that embargo.
Don't
Yeah.
don't read the run out on Kramer's Hentai Adventure. you don't want to know the type of things he's saying. There's a reason that run out's etched out.
Every new topic I bring up is just gonna be controversial.
It's okay.
The number one canceled video game vinyl podcast.
Number one controversy podcast.
Number one liquid pilled podcast.
I'm about to get more high.
I am
I had
pill
some
pill.
teams this
Well,
week. I
Pico's
got
like
Funboy
Joey
3
in there.
best of for $3.
Funboy?
Cumboy 3?
Funboy 3. I found
Oh.
What do you guys think of
so good.
Mega Man Battle Network that came out? Because that's a GBA soundtrack, and I feel like is that the first official GBA soundtrack we got?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I'm excited
think
about
so.
it, but
I really want to hear what it sounds like. Did they nail it? Did they get good sources, or does the bass
I-
just literally sound like ass?
There's a
I
CD
think-
source.
Yeah, if I had a, yeah, exactly. I'm assuming it's coming from the CD source / Spotify or streaming, whatever.
yeah,
Where it
Capcom's
sounds, to me, it sounds pretty much like the GBA exactly, but maybe a little better.
yeah, Capcom's usually pretty good about providing like CD sources or at least high quality audio.
Yeah.
Because they did the whole Rockman Ecan release that just like was it a giant CD box set of all the Mega Man classic games.
Yeah, 1 through 10.
Yeah, I don't think 11 was out at the time.
I love Battle
No.
Network.
Yeah, I'm not a big Mega Man guy, as I said on the show. But nor do I always buy official releases like super often. But that was an instant buy for me. That was
I
very
missed the limited
expensive
edition.
down
What was the difference?
there. It was like the same variant. It just looked a little bit cooler. It had like an extra like color blob on the inside
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Damn you! Damn
I
you!
missed it
Troy.
also. Actually,
But
didn't
beside
get
that, it's
yet.
just-
They've been getting
you-
good fucking releases lately, but didn't they just sell their whole company to like some like headhunter buying like company?
I don't know how long it was that they sold that their company there.
where was that announced?
It was
Then
not
no.
I don't
announced.
know if it was.
Joe told me.
I thought I heard
Yeah, I
Jim
told
Bob say that
Joseph Mama.
that they're putting the corporate group on like their return address
That's on their
mailers
label now. Yeah. That's what I noticed when I got something from their Valentine's sale.
But I still haven't gotten my Valentine's thing yet, but hopefully soon.
I am excited for all their Sunsoft stuff. That's
Mhm.
coming out.
Sunsoft is the best. I agree.
I'm
What do they
not-
have coming from Sunsoft?
Euphoria.
Gimmick
Oh yeah,
and Silius, the official
They-
one.
Gimmick hasn't been done yet. I thought that
Nope.
got pressed officially. Really?
IM8 that literally did a CD release of Gimmick, but not a vinyl.
Crazy. I wonder what I'm thinking
Very
of.
weird.
Zach saying in the chat, did you all see the video Null Sleep put up about capturing better Game Boy Advance audio sound through GameCube? I was like, I
It's
don't know,
still
could
so it doesn't matter because it's still going to be compressed no matter
Mhm.
what. Yeah, you'll get like a digital signal, but that doesn't mean that when the sound chip reads it, all the stuff gets compressed.
Yeah, because they
Really,
have to
the only
compress
way
it
is
on
to
the card.
do MIDI and then rip the uncompressed sound font and then rebuild everything yourself.
Because
Yeah.
the sound chip's what's doing the compression.
Yeah. So you'll get a
So-
digital signal from a GameCube, but it doesn't mean shit because of the way GBA sound is set up. And there's 3 different sound engines, so you never even know which one you're gonna fucking be doing. There's games that like cannot be ripped. Like it doesn't matter. It's like 1% of GBA games use like a third engine, and they just can't be ripped.
Do we know how like Diddy Kong Pilot was sourced? I mean, it had to be.
Had to be
like-
through emulation, I assume.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think there's- unless they have some kind of beta cartridge of it.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's unlikely.
Even that, I don't think that was uncompressed though.
No, it's just sounds
Yeah.
like how it would emulate it, I assume.
Which is tough because 99% of emulators emulate at different speed than the original games.
But even
So
if
it's just-
you find the sound fonts, like sources and all that stuff, and reconstruct it and all that, it's still gonna sound a little bit different, right? Because
Well, yeah, because you're going through a room. So you got to imagine like it's just like with sound design is you got to have like a fake room, so everything's got to echo off like a certain wall. So when you imagine it, like imagine you have like this fishbowl and you're like dropping the instruments like into this dynamic like depth like from the walls and the bottom of like where you're placing that stuff. So you don't have the original room, and you'll have to use the room of your DAW. But it's possible to read what you finish back on the GBA and then re-record it off through the GBA to
Interesting.
get that extra sound design room.
Interesting.
I know the first like famous example of somebody doing that was with Wario Land 4, because I forget if it was WarioWare on GameCube. I assume it's WarioWare on GameCube, has like a lot of the same sound fonts as Wario Land 4, so people were able to get those sound fonts in very high quality, and they ended up reconstructing the Wario Land 4 music through using that. But it's still
I hadn't heard that before.
There's a Mother 3 team too that did it, and they fucking are like nailed it.
Yeah, the Mother 3 one is really good.
Yeah, they did such a good job. I once saw so like in Japan, Roland has like a MIDI, like a hardware MIDI box where you could like load up MIDI and there's like instruments on it. And I've seen someone take the GBA Golden Sun MIDI and throw it into this like hardware box that Roland made, and it actually sounded awesome, but the drums sounded like more real. There's videos on YouTube. I'll have to find a link for it, but they sound really fucking good. And I think that's a really interesting way of doing GBA too.
Yeah, we'll
I
have to
wonder
post
if
that video.
Golden Sun is one we'll see someday.
I hope so. I think just GBA is scary because like
Everyone's gonna say it sounds bad.
100%.
That's a risk that someone making it probably doesn't want to take, because a lot of people probably don't really understand the fact that it's, it takes a lot for it to not sound bad.
Even if it doesn't sound worse than like the average boot, people are going to be extra skeptical. So anything that does sound bad will get called out. So like it might not even be worse, but the skepticism around it will just be that much greater.
I think GBA is like it's more accessible than like older systems, so you're gonna get a lot more people who like played those games and like have them ingrained in their body, in their soul, so they like know if anything's off. And I think that's what you get with super fans. I think that's always like the scary part of doing like, let's say, a Zelda release, because more people are going to listen to it, so you're going to have more complaints, more people are going to notice like defects, like more people, they're going to catch it, like you misspell something, something's not off, something doesn't start right, the Zelda fans will know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's just scary. Zelda GBA or any GBA. That's why I'm excited for Mega Man or Battle Network.
I know I saw someone say in the Discord today that they were hoping that it would come as a box set, but
Mega Man Battle Network.
Yeah, honestly, that's
one is the best.
A serious undertaking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
It's funny because I've heard a lot of people say one's the worst one. I'm not too familiar with the series.
One's the worst game. I'm more partial to one because it has less options.
People like 3 a lot.
Yeah, 3 is cool. They just you can end up customizing Navi like to the point where it's like, damn, like what do I even do? Like which costume do I wear? How many games do I have to play this? And like 1, it's like you get to pick one like evolution, one element, and then you can pick the next element, and it's more linear in that way. And I kind of like a good linear game.
I agree.
Because
2 is my favorite.
It's such a departure from the Mega Man formula. Like it demands so much more of your time than
it's like live tactics. It's really fucking cool, and like way more puzzles, because there's literally no puzzles as Mega Man usually. So it's all fucking puzzles, and then there's a card game, live maneuvering tactics battle. Like it's cool. Everybody should go play Battle Network.
Yeah, and Realm makes a good remark about like, if they were all boxed up together, they might have the issue with the X collection, where one song on Mega Man X is on disc 2.
Oh god, that's so annoying.
I'm glad I have the boot for that one. That's like one of my all-time favorite soundtracks.
What'd you say, Aaron?
That's on Switch as well now, right? You can play Battle
Not
Network.
yet. I don't think it's out yet, but
Oh, okay.
they're coming out with the collection.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Same with Advanced Wars. I'd really like to see some like redos of those.
I've
new
heard,
Golden Sun, the new
We still
Advanced
have to
Wars.
wait. I can't believe we still have to wait like a few months for Advance Wars. The game has been ready to ship for over a year.
Pray Russia doesn't launch a nuke in the next 2 months. Otherwise,
I've
Heaven
just,
forbid they delay Advance Wars again.
Did anybody get their Metroid pre-order delayed?
God help us.
not yet. No.
Oh,
I
yeah,
heard,
that's
like-
this week, isn't it?
All the Amazons got delayed
For Prime or for 4?
for Prime.
Like the remastered one?
Isn't
Yeah.
that oh, that's tomorrow?
That's today.
Yeah,
Came out today, physically.
I thought it's
Actually-
the 22nd. Mine shipped today.
Oh, maybe it is the 22nd. I know it's weird for games to not come out on Tuesday, so I figured it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
I
It
see
is-
some places online have a note that says ships 2/21.
Mhm.
I was in Best Buy today and I didn't see it, but also Best Buy sucks
Yeah.
and never has anything, so doesn't mean
I got mine
anything.
direct from the
My
Nintendo
Best
website.
Buys near me are pretty solid.
I've I think I don't even think I'm gonna wait for Advanced Wars anymore. Like there are some nice additions, but I've just started replaying it on my analog, and I'm having
Yeah,
a
fuck it,
good
you got an
time with that.
analog. Who cares at that point?
Yeah, like online mode does sound fun with Advanced Wars, but I don't know if it's worth paying full price for it.
I think it's cool that it has a brand new coat of paint and
Yeah, and especially if you haven't played the game before either. Like it's well worth the
Yeah.
time investment. It's a different kind of tactics game.
I've been thinking about getting a Steam Deck.
Do
you should
it.
definitely get a Steam Deck. It's
It's
100%
It's like I can
worth
just
it.
keep it docked and like on my TV and just solely use it as like a super emulation machine.
It's
It will
all
change your life.
that's literally all I've been doing. And,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely perfect as that.
I stumbled upon another nerd Facebook page, and someone was showing that they're emulating Prime, and everyone was losing their shit at them and getting mad at them for pirating or whatever. And then everyone said
What?
that Steam Decks are useless and stupid, and I just don't see how that's possible. They seem so nice. For like
We're like a
emulating
generation
them.
of pirates. Like, what generation is not pirates? Who would ever say don't pirate?
No, I save all my games. Everything's saved to my hard drive.
Just like, oh god,
Yeah,
it's
torrent.
just
Torrent like
Just-
your life depended on it.
just the fact that on the Steam Deck you can go into desktop mode, like go on archive.org, download whatever you want, and go right back to the
Yeah, hop back over.
and start immediately playing it.
Oh,
Like,
you can
it's
do it
such a-
directly from the Steam Deck? That's fucking sick.
Yeah, you can just download
Yeah.
whatever you want on it. It's just so easy.
It's called
And
like
the hard drive upgrades like super easy, right?
there's like it's a program is like emu my deck or something. It's like a whole website. It explains it's so sleek. It's so nice. It's like
You don't really even have to. I mean, you can upgrade the internal hard drive, but you can just put everything on a micro SD and play it off
oh
that.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
What if
Number
they
one.
Have you guys done Dreamcast? I want a really good Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just
Dreamcast
playing
runs perfect on it.
Oh man, that's
Yes.
great.
Uncanny.
You guys are fucking selling this to me right now. I
Yeah,
may be
literally
high,
put together
but
back
I
up
feel like I'm
so
sold.
I can buy a Steam Deck.
My
Get a Steam Deck.
biggest thing is PS Vita is still a little hinky on there, right?
Probably. I mean, it's yeah. I assume not every game is gonna run smooth. It's the same thing with 3DS. Like some games are really bad and some are perfect.
What about PC98 games? Can I emulate PC98 games?
I'm sure those will run perfect.
I can't imagine.
The number one tech support podcast.
I've never been.
we just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah, literally. I was like sold. I don't even have to confirm.
I've never been like one to enjoy DS or 3DS emulation. Like it's too hard to divorce the dual screen concept for me. I don't know if I could do
Very,
a Wii
it
U
really
emulation either.
it really depends on the game. It really depends
Huh.
on the game. Some of them are just not tolerable, like with any sort of screen setup other than the being on the real console.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of that, is that if it doesn't play on the Steam Deck, you might as well just have the other thing, because this thing can basically play it otherwise.
The one game I was so disappointed that like runs pretty poorly on it was Kid Icarus Uprising, because I
Oh.
really wanted to play that game with a controller.
That game's fucking impossible, like on the regular 3DS.
Uh-huh. That would be hard.
Well,
You guys
to
have that little
play.
stand? You saw that little stand for it?
Yeah.
I have it, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
If you're left-handed, it's probably a nightmare.
Sucks to suck.
Imagine.
But,
That was fucking wild. Why did Nintendo ever think that was a good idea? Like, here's a fucking stand so you could play this one game.
Well, I mean, I think the stand was an afterthought. I think through like quality testing, they realized that Kid Icarus was hurting people's wrists, and so this was their stopgap measure.
And then I think Resident Evil Revelations was the first game to have the extra the thumb pad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have the first day release and it's like Revelations?
I do have that, yes.
Yes. That's a classic.
Reveli tons, I think it is.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
It's really funny. Jill's
That's
booty in
good.
3D. I'm not gonna lie.
Change
Play
deal.
that up with the 3D all the way up.
It's insane.
It's
There's people out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not looking at the Twitch, but there's got to be someone in Twitch chat that plays with the 3D all the way up.
When's Link's gonna do Reveli tons?
Do which one?
Reveli tons.
Oh, Revelite. Give us Revelite. please.
I hope they use that name too. That'd be key. Like you were there when they came out and played it.
If there was a bootleg version of that soundtrack, you'd like definitely make the spine say that.
Yeah,
For
dude.
sure.
Alex, since you're so good at getting us back on topic, what are there any other big new releases we missed?
I don't know. We're 10:30 right now, so I didn't even have a new puzzle set up. I thought we were gonna cut out soon, but
Oh, we're on after
yeah. I mean,
hours.
we haven't talked about. There was that Concept of Love tape, and there's the Turtles 3, and the Oracle series.
Turtles 3 was a disaster looking release.
Mm-hmm.
Not look good. That's all I got on that.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
disaster of a movie, so maybe it's perfect.
Have you ever seen Disaster movie?
Clever reference, actually.
Not recently, Joey.
It's okay. I was just wondering.
But oh,
For asking me.
yeah. Speaking of, you said the Turtles movie. Waxworks did that Aeon Flux box set, and like Jesus
I
Christ,
tried so hard to buy that. I'm like so on the fence. I was like, I want it so bad.
I
but
know.
was like, I don't want to buy it.
I know
There's so many boosters destroying my wallet right now that I just never gonna open. I'm like 4 months behind on my boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring a record player to work. I'd listen to because I see everything gets shipped there, so I'd listen to it right
You
away.
should. You get a little one.
Yeah, I really
It's-
need to. I'll buy a Crossley.
Yeah.
I got a
Sounds
good
good.
closing question for you guys.
What's that?
What do you think of all the TikTok fan base coming over? Like, and in the hundreds. I think at this point we've had over 350 new joins in the server.
We've had a lot. It's very cool, and I like seeing more people get into this hobby. But it's always a little disappointing to me to have to be like, hey, this is a hard to find record. Best of luck, but I hope you can find it. And like, I just kind of have to leave it at that and not think too hard.
Oh yeah, I guess from a moderator's perspective, like it's maybe more apparent to you all than it is me.
Atrax
Like,
is trying
what,
to
like
scare away
retention
our
rate?
users.
They ask this, or do they just like not say anything? Because I've seen a
get
lot
that.
of.
Oh, we get a lot of mentors. The mentors all lately
Yeah.
of the TikTok kids are just like, how does this work? And then you just like explain like a roadmap, and they're like, oh, how do I get this? And you're like, damn.
Right.
I just
It's
like wrote you
that-
like this giant paragraph. I was like, just make it to level 2. It's a video game. Get your EXP. Get to level 2. Use the marketplace. That's like my go-to.
I get these comments all the time on the YouTube channel, and it really is just a lot of that. And then they do come over to the Discord, and some of them do stick around, and we have started to see some of them are finding what they're looking for. So it's neat
Yeah.
to see, but it's just you got to really stick at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's like a weird like journey. I don't know. This whole
Yeah.
scene is evolved into like the weirdest thing I've ever been a fucking part of.
Eventually, the whole team will be winning, and everyone will have everything they want.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I guess I
Like
don't
it's like
really...
school. You have to like hang out with people you don't even fucking like, and like you like, and it's like work. You got to be like civil and like share this space with like people. It's super weird.
Yeah.
I hate that that's true.
I hate all of you.
It's like a
I imagine, like,
podcast.
getting everybody
I
else
can't
for roles
believe
at
I'm
school.
here right.
It's like a podcast. You have to talk to 3 others once a week for at least 1
Yeah.
hour,
With the kitchen table.
and also be late by 10 minutes.
I officially made a TikTok account last night, so
Hell
I
yeah!
have to-
Congratulations.
Yeah.
A
I'm
week
now
ago, I did
on it.
that.
You're
I
coming.
will follow you. Is it Wanna Trade Pants?
It is. I have 0 followers. 0
Oh, I'm following
views.
you.
Oh, yeah, I'm
So
gonna send you.
About to go to a million.
Yeah.
Put
You're talking
Frank's
to a bunch
link
of
in the
TikTokers
chat,
here.
and let's get this going.
We're gonna get Frank to go public.
I don't
mean,
know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about TikTok, but
That's like the best part. Those are the most endearing TikTokers that have like no clue how to use the platform.
Just preface all your videos as "Follow me on this journey," and just
Yeah.
then do whatever, do anything.
Come with
Fine.
me, and you'll see a place of world of your imagination.
I've heard that the TikTok algorithm like throws you a bone every once in a while. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's
especially
true.
early on to get you addicted. You'll post something and it'll get a bunch of views,
Yeah.
and then you'll be like, "I could do this forever."
Oh, I don't
Mhm.
even post nothing. I just be lurking. My feed is curated to just be a lot of very funny memes and food.
You don't know
Joey
what
sent
it's
me an
like to be
account, and it's just pictures of
influencer.
air conditionings and then the sound of the air conditioning that it makes, and it's the best
It's the
TikTok
beat.
account.
It's like
I've
a
ever
four.
seen.
It's a 4-picture gallery that's just one AC unit, like from the early 2000s, split into 4 different pictures, and it just opens with a beep. I saw that at like 11:30, and I could feel my body got chills. I'm like, oh
It's
wow.
like my favorite TikTok.
Someone should do that with car alarms. I think that would be cool. All the different car alarms over the years.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's a good vid. There you
That
go.
would be-
Frank's
that should
first
be your
vid.
first.
That's the
that should be your
first video you'll find on Wanna Trade Pants.
Because I haven't seen that.
Or like headlight blinkers. You do blinker sounds also, and tempos.
Just do dumb shit like cleaning videos, like cleaning my vinyl. Like, if you go look at the TikTok of Wind Waker that got whatever, like 1 million views, I think it is at this point. Like he's literally just
much.
like showcasing it.
It's like last time I checked, it was like I think almost 400,000 views, which is
Wow.
like insane.
Yeah, I can't believe that. That's...
That's Avatar numbers.
Doing Morbius numbers over there.
It's no endgame numbers, but
Number 1 VGM TikTok podcast.
It's no Ant-Man and Quantumania numbers.
I mean, at this point, this is literally just the after show.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Are we
let's,
killing this episode?
let's wrap this up.
And
What
we're
did
out.
we learn?
And we're off.
Thanks
did we learn?
everyone for joining us.
yes, thank you.
What we learned
Thank
is
you.
2023 is the year of the dupe. We're getting
Year of the
dupes
dupe,
released
baby.
Thank you, Cody.
Definitely.
Thank you,
If
Joey.
there's
Thank
anything-
you,
on
Frank, for
TikTok.
joining us.
Year to the podcast.
If you're
Thank
looking for
everyone for
anything more
listening.
than 3 years old, just wait. It's gonna get redone this year.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's
If you're
coming.
looking for love, call me.
And yeah,
night.
we'll see
And-
you next
And we're out.
next week.
Big
we're
ass
doing
tournament.
game night, so we'll see first week of March. Jesus,
Yay!
Lord and
it's
Savior.
already gonna be March. All right, see you all
Users
next
are off.
time.
And
Bye.
here comes
Big ass
Steve.
helmet.
Thank you.